Honestly, it always feels tough when you walk away 4-0. Um, I don't think that was indicative of the game, but I thought that in the first half we represented ourselves really well, and the version of football that I want the team to move toward. And then what you see in the second half is when then the Dutch start to crank up the heat a little bit, then you can see a little bit more of their quality, and we get stressed a little bit more, and so it forces us into a few mistakes. But I told him that certainly the first half and overall it was better than I had hoped, and we know that we have some big challenges against our first opponents, but we're going to learn from them. There's a lot of little things in there that I think we can make adjustments to be clearer and simpler in the way we want to play. But I think it was, for a 4-0 match, it was actually a pretty good performance. After the second day of training, so we've been together for, as a full group, I think 3-4 days. I thought to myself, wow, this is going to be a fun group to work with, and there's real potential here. But I also knew that the reality is, given the opponents coming up, that we would have some tough days. And I knew that I would have to stay strong and positive and continue to reinforce the things that were going to help them improve and grow together. All that being said, I didn't think we would be able to play like we did specifically in the first half. And so, yeah, we make a few too many mistakes. We get punished for them because the opponent's very good, but we'll learn from it. And the good thing is I think the biggest thing we need to take away from specifically these playing against Holland and now playing against France is what the level of the game is at the highest, right? But to do that, we needed to also create a platform of how we wanted to play and insert it into the games against those opponents. Now we've done that. Now we kind of understand what the standards are, and now we can show examples of tactically how to get better, and then what the speed of play is like and what the demands are playing against the best. No, I think you're right. He said he felt some general tightness, but I don't think it's injured. I hope that it's something that won't keep him out too long. No, that's still under consideration, and I will in the first games here rotate who the captain is a little bit. But that being said, I think Alfonso has been a big factor in terms of the overall energy of what the first week has been like, and his work ethic, his positivity, his motivation and concentration to help the team transform into what we wanted to become has been really good. So I thought I was happy for him. I think he wore it in a good way, and I think he represented himself and the team in a good way. So yeah, it was a good first start for the idea of how we're going to use the captaincy. Yeah, and we will listen. You could see that we were compact. We weren't just pressing all the way up high. We were trying to control spaces a little bit and make it difficult for them to break us down. And for the most part in the first half, we accomplished that in a good way. But that's just the first step for us in our process. So even taking Liam out at halftime and putting in Schaffelberg, that was already planned ahead of time. And so, we had a bunch of kind of pre-planned ideas for how we wanted to get through this match, because we wanted to look at different players and evaluate them for how they can fit into things moving forward. But in general, I thought that, given, again, the 4-0 for me is not representative of the match. And I feel actually that there were some good performances and collectively pretty organized. Yeah, I definitely would not even use the phrase "go back to the drawing board." I would just say, yeah, we need to make improvements in probably all of those areas: in fitness, in behaviors, in tactical clarity. But again, because the Dutch are really good at creating rotations, they have a lot of technical players, they have a lot of athleticism, they have a great combination of what it takes to play the game at the highest level, and so it tests us at the highest level, and we hold up pretty well in the first half, and had some really good stretches where I thought our football was good, and our understanding of how to play in all phases of the game was quite good. But then, yeah, fatigue sets in a little bit more. They start to put their foot on the pedal a little bit more, which creates a little bit more stress in our team, and then we become a little bit more passive. We invite a little bit more pressure. We make a few more mistakes, and they're ready to capitalize on them. But again, next time now we're in a situation against a team like this, we'll understand it a little better, and then we'll be able to respond. Even when the game gets tougher, we'll be able to raise our level. Thought he was very good. Thought that he was tactically good. Thought on the ball he made really good decisions. Won a lot of duels. I know Brian Brobby from my time in Leipzig. I coached him there, and he likes to really post up. And so at halftime, we talked about making an adjustment so that he doesn't allow Brian to lock him in certain moments. And, I asked him and Derek both to be very aggressive and be very confident in stepping in at times, in their duels, in all situations, so that tactically they would provide a good foundation for us. And I think they both performed really well. Really well. So really excited about the progress in a very short time. So Derek even came late. They've been around for 3 and 4 days, and they both played really well. I thought they were both very good. The challenge we have a little bit is that Stefan hasn't played a lot of 90-minute matches in the last 4 or 5 months, right? So we have to find a way to keep him fit and strong. And then Ismail had like 3 weeks off before camp, so maintaining his fitness. But given everything, I thought that they both performed well. They tactically understood their roles. I think in the first half specifically, when we had some good moments of starting in our build-up phase and then breaking the opponent down and then finding ways to connect with our attacking players, switching the ball sometimes, I thought that they were both very sharp and very clear. So I think that those two will be a really good combination as we move forward. And we're going to need them to continue to grow and understand the system, because the role that they play tactically in the team is really important in all phases. The goalkeeper, I made the decision in this game because I think that Dane has been performing really well with his club. And so there's no decision really that's made at any level with anything yet, because we've only been together for 6 days or 3 days, if you talk 4 days, if you talk MLS group. So, we're just in our initial phase of establishing everything about how we're going to move forward. And again, the response in every way from every single person involved has been incredibly positive and gives me major optimism. Even losing 4-0, right? I still know that our end vision, our end goal is 2 years from now. And we're just starting our process. And I think, it's almost unfair to have your first match against the Dutch and your second against the French. But so what? We got to grow up as a team. We got to grow up as a football nation. And we've got to figure out ways to get better. And there's no better way to do that than playing against opponents like this. Yeah, I mean, they've played matches together before, but we're working in all of the relationships on the pitch. But I thought tactically that they were really sharp. I don't think they got exposed too often. I thought that their connection with the ball and against the ball and defensively was good. So I mentioned to the team afterwards, of all the talk that there's been defensively, of course, we give up 4 goals and we want to do better than that. But the 2 center backs performed well. So it gives us real optimism on how to continue to build with those guys. And now, we have some others in camp too that I think we'll be looking at.
Thank you, everyone. Merci.
Thank you.